Friends, our city has a famous midwife who used to deliver babies. Whenever a child was to be delivered, she would wear a dhoti and then proceed with the delivery. When she came to my place to deliver a child and wore the dhoti, suddenly my eyes fell on the lower part of the dhoti. Seeing that, my life went out, because whatever I saw there was unbearable. My mind was blown away. My name is Shabana, and my marriage was arranged solely for having children because my husband's mother was a cancer patient. The doctors had told them that she would leave this world after a year and a half. Her treatment required 7 to 8 million rupees, which those people did not have. Even if they tried from here and there, they couldn't gather such an amount. My husband was the only breadwinner in this house. My father-in-law had already passed away. Relatives did not think well of us or even considered us bad. Anyway, they did not visit much, so my elderly mother-in-law said she wanted to arrange her son's marriage before she dies, so that she could leave this world after seeing her grandchild's face. I had seen that person coming and going in the neighborhood. I used to like him very much before. When I saw his picture, I recognized him instantly. One day, just by seeing him, I thought he was a handsome young man. I did not know that he would become my husband. When these people sent a proposal to my house, my parents accepted it as well. They considered the current situation. We were not accustomed to extravagant weddings anyway. I had a black mark near my ear, which I always kept hidden. My mother said that until the marriage happens, no one should know about it. Although that mark was very noticeable when looked at closely, my mother believed that if girls have marks on their faces, people create thousands of rumors. All my life, I had my hair cut in a way that the mark was not visible. It was better for the marriage to happen simply. Otherwise, my relatives could have told lies. The marriage was conducted with simplicity, and they performed the small ceremony of walima. After that, I started managing my home. I was happy because I had found a husband of my choice. My husband was very handsome. His eyes were green, which made him look even more attractive. His name was Danish. On the very first night of marriage, he told me that we need to have a child quickly because my mother has cancer and wants to see her son or daughter before she dies. I had no issue with this because he was a very good man. His only wish was to have someone who knows he is bedridden and aware that he is going to die. Thinking about this genuinely makes my heart anxious. I had no problem with my mother-in-law. I told my husband that whatever he wishes, it will happen. Soon after, within the first month of our marriage, I became pregnant, much to everyone's joy. My husband said everything would be fine. When we talked to the doctor, he said that Danish had only a year and a half left. But who knows if his life might extend longer. He was still trying to arrange money somehow, but the truth was, he had nothing. We had our own house, but even after sending it, more than 4 million rupees were not coming in. I was very happy too. My husband said not to work too much and take care of myself, but there was no one to do any work in this house. Maybe it was my mistake that I washed the clothes. I took the clothes to the rooftop to dry, and then my health deteriorated. The doctor informed me that my baby had passed away. This news was devastating for us. We became very distressed. For a week or two, my husband did not inform me, and later he had to tell me, which made him very worried. The doctor told me that my health was not good, so the husband and wife had to abstain from each other for 3 months. Marie had little child in whom to feed, so the husband and wife had to abstain from each other for 3 months. I told my husband about the doctor's advice. After hearing the doctor's words, Danish said there was no need. She speaks to everyone like this. She just wants to perform an umrah, religious pilgrimage, and have a relationship with all the women. You know, performing umrah is forbidden. I said I am not saying to perform umrah, but I can be given 2 or 3 months, otherwise my health might worsen. But my husband said no. I had told him this on the first day. I said, this means you arranged our marriage just to have a child. I did not expect my husband to respond like this. He said there is no talk of marriage. I arranged our marriage only because my mother wants to see her child. Otherwise, there was no need to marry right now. My mother is worried about me. You are a necessity for me to have a child. If you cannot fulfill this, I will marry someone else. I will surely fulfill my mother's last wish." I was surprised by my husband's words. He had no concern for me. I thought I would not talk to him anymore. My health was also important. I was someone's daughter too. Wasn't I a life that cared for her dying mother? But my life had no concern. In this matter, my husband did not listen to me. The next month, within the same hope, he was taking very good care of me again. Then another woman from the neighborhood came, who was a friend of my sister-in-law. She came and told my sister-in-law about a midwife who was very capable. She could handle any difficult case. She didn't have much time, as almost every day she went to someone for a case. Her name was Wajir. She was very capable, probably around 50 years old. She had her own way of working. She had a woman with her and did not let anyone stand in the room. She didn't talk much. Even the most difficult cases she managed to handle and could tell whether it was a normal delivery or if an operation was needed. I say take her to her once. That woman praised Wajir so much that she mentioned about 10 impossible cases, but she had solved them. She had also delivered normal cases for such women who were told by doctors that they needed operations. During the operation, their baby's life could also be at risk. In such a situation, my mother-in-law said we must definitely get a checkup done. But I did not tell my sister-in-law because I did not trust any midwife. When I went to the doctor said that you were hopeful before, but your baby was lost. You planned to have a baby again, and now there is a high risk of losing this baby too. I am worried. I said, "Doctor, what if you do not allow me to have another baby now, because my husband does not listen to me at all?" I told the doctor all the current situations. He said it is very foolish. If his mother is going to die, it means she will sell you as well. I asked him to give me good medicine, do anything to save my life. Otherwise, I will keep doing this. He said, "Now leave it to Allah. What more can we do?" He gave me quite a few medicines and precautions. After 2 months, I went to the doctor again. He said everything was fine, but your baby was very difficult. Just pray to Allah that 7 months pass in some way. After that, there won't be much problem. One day, my friend's mother-in-law brought Wajir to our house. She scolded me for not working on it when she told me something. I told anything about my husband, he would definitely inform his mother. She kept asking about the baby. They wanted to know everything about it. My husband did not hide this fact either. He said it was something to hide. My mother-in-law also said that if you go to the doctor, you can get sick too. They intentionally say this and that to write a lot of medicines for him. Tell his wife to sit comfortably and get her treatment from that midwife. I went to the room and Wajir was sitting there. Seeing her, I was surprised because she was an old woman, at least 55 years old. I was worried that if she was too old, her thinking would also be old. She believed in old methods. I did not want to get involved with her, but my sister-in-law made me sit in front of her. She started looking at me carefully and then told me to lie down. She also checked me. I felt very bad and was getting angry. I couldn't speak any ill of my sister-in-law in front of my husband because she was bedridden. But the truth was, even though she was lying there, my mother-in-law had ruined my life. She did not let me speak about any matter of the house. I had to tell her everything. If she had to prepare food, she would say, "Both of you eat there. Now there are 3 people in this house. Who will cook separately?" The lot was already being spent. Place the bed in the room where she could directly see the kitchen from the room. I couldn't eat anything made by myself. All day she kept an eye on me. She couldn't see the work that was being done. She would ask me about them and even asked questions that she should not have asked. Wajir checked me and then said that indeed this case was very difficult. But we had already told her earlier. She said if they go to the doctor now, the doctor would directly say to operate. During the operation, the baby's life could also be at risk. My mother-in-law said, no, this baby is very important to us. I want to go and see it. She said to call me on time. Otherwise, later, do not say it was too late. It is a very difficult case. I will solve it. I was getting a little angry that this woman is not a doctor, but has more experience than a doctor. A few days later, a friend called me who lived in the same neighborhood. She had gotten married 3 years ago and was still in the same city, but her in-laws' house was in another area. She told me that she was in trouble because she couldn't find time. My baby was going to be born and the doctor said the case was very difficult. I spent 9 months crying day and night, praying that Allah would keep my baby safe. But then I met another woman named Wajir, and she checked me. At that time she was with me. Allah worked, and everything was fine. I said, the same Wajir who is tall and a little old? She said, yes, the same one. I said my sister-in-law also had her checkup done yesterday. My friend said she is really very good. She is very calm, she handles all matters, and told me to get the treatment from her. My friend was very educated. She told me that she had just happened. She even showed me a picture of her daughter. Her daughter was nothing like her. Normally, babies are all cute, but her daughter was not like that at all. She was a strange, dark-skinned girl with thick spots. I did not tell her this because I remembered that her husband was also like this. Maybe she went to her father. She said the doctor had said that the baby would not survive. But now, see, this is mine. So thank God there was no time left. I said okay. I was also reassured because my friend would not lie. When neighborhood women and relatives sit together and I am married, their conversations are always like this. A baby is going to be born? What kind of baby is going to be born? How is the baby's health? Many women kept coming to ask about my sister-in-law, and in conversations they mostly praised Wajir. Among 2 or 3 women I asked myself, and they said, she is a very good woman. I also needed reassurance. I got reassurance. I went to the doctor, and after that I went only once more. She said there was still a lot of risk. Days passed like this. My city takes care of me. But the things she told me, I did not forget. Then my mother explained to me that in married life, you have to weaken your memory. Only then does the relationship become strong. You have to forget what is past. Maybe my mother was right. My husband was taking care of me. My sister-in-law was also praying for me at the right time. My health worsened a lot, and Wajir was called. She reached on time, but when she came, seeing her, I was surprised. She was wearing a manly dhoti this time. Another woman from the neighborhood, who was my sister-in-law's friend, was also present. I asked how she wore the clothes. She said she wears such clothes while delivering the baby. Now, what is the secret behind this? I do not know the secret behind this. We do not know, but maybe she wears it to stay calm. You rest, and I will pray for you. I said you will not stand with me. My parents could not reach because they might have gone for Umrah. She said no, she does not let anyone stand near. Her dignity is in her hands. If there is a disagreement about this, she starts scolding. Now you follow her as she does. If you do not follow, she will scold you. I said, what is this? I already had doubts. The pain was also very severe. Anyway, she delivered my baby. Did my baby ever bite? It was not very painful and the baby did not cry. It meant everything was fine. But if half an hour had passed, Wajira would have taken the baby in her arms. I found out my son was born when he suddenly started crying. Tawbah, Tawbah, may Allah forgive me. It is Allah's will. What can we do? He said the baby is not in this world. He has died. Hearing this, the ground went away from under my feet. I was unconscious. It means I regained consciousness a day later. They had taken my baby and buried him. My husband was standing sadly. My sister-in-law was still crying. She said, "I am unlucky. I am already an unlucky daughter-in-law. I gave birth to a child, but the baby died 15 minutes later." Extirpation treatment followed psychotherapy from a hospital. Tauba, what destiny has brought into the house? This house was already full of sorrows. We thought stepping forward would bring some improvement, but it did not leave us anywhere. Wajira, whom they called Wajir, also said that now she cannot become a mother again. I felt that fate washed its hands and fell upon me. On one side, the sorrow of my child. On the other side, the sorrow that I could never become a mother again. Shall we say, deposit on another person. Deposited in the middle, Tim. My health was very bad. I stayed sick for 2 or 3 weeks, kept crying. Then a woman told me that your baby was very beautiful. He had eyes like your husband. I had not even seen my baby properly, and he left this world. He left my world and was far from my doorstep. I was very distressed. One day I went to the doctor and told them everything. They said your case was indeed very difficult. Maybe if you were here, the same thing might have happened to you. We had told you earlier. I was very worried and just sat quietly. Almost a month passed. After that, I heard something with my ears. My sister-in-law was telling my husband, "I am still alive. Maybe some miracle happens. You quickly marry some girl, whatever she may be. Just marry her and have a child quickly. There is no other purpose in my life." This woman was not going to have a child right now. For the time being, do not divorce her. Decide the matter later. But respect my last wish. When I heard this, I came forward openly. I said, "You are lying. It does not mean that whatever you want you can do. What you are doing is that you arrange for your son to be taught some sensible things. What happened to me, I did not do it myself. Your son was also at fault. The doctor had said to let me rest. Do not think of having a baby as a machine." But she did not listen to the doctor. She also harmed me, and your baby also left this world. My husband slapped my face, saying that my mother is going to die. What tone are you talking to her with? My life was ruined. I did not understand what to do. My parents had gone for Umrah. They had relatives living there, so they had not returned for 2 or 3 months. They had not yet told what the matter was. She did not want to trouble them. My husband said, "If you want to stay in this house, stay. If not, leave. I am not giving you a divorce, but you have to marry someone else for the sake of the child." You do not understand even a small matter. I am more compelled than you. I told my husband many things. I said all this happened because of you. You ruined my life. Because of you, I became barren. I will never forgive you. My husband said, "Leave this house now. You are no longer needed for what I married you for. You are not worthy." My husband tried to erase the ground from under my feet. I called my friend and said, "Take me from there," and told everything to my parents. They also returned within a week. I went back to my parents' house. My life was ruined. My husband did not take any news from me. He had remarried. Now I was just a living corpse, not interested in anything. One day my friend came to my house. She said, "We have a relative whose child is a miracle. Let us go there. Your heart will also be soothed." I said, "No, I do not want to go there. I was not feeling up to it." She said, "You should go. How long will you stay at home like this?" The words were small, like she was interpreting a sign of favors. "You will get sick, and women and children will come to you. Your heart will be soothed." I went with my friend. Her relative was from her in-laws' side. She was a very rich woman. When we entered the house, we were surprised. It was indeed a miracle. But so much food was prepared here. So many people came. Very rich people were here. Everyone was saying they are very rich. These people do not lack anything. but no children have been born here for 10 years. After 10 years, a son was born, who was also extremely handsome. That is why they were celebrating so much and spending money like water. My friend loved going to such places, so she was enjoying it a lot. I went and sat in a corner. They left. After a while, everyone was given food. Then they brought the baby outside. The woman was wearing a very beautiful outfit and had taken the baby in her arms. As soon as I saw the baby, the ground went away from under my feet. My hands and feet started trembling. My breaths became fast, and the baby was 5 months old. Since the day I delivered, it had only been 5.5 months. I saw the baby from a distance. His eyes were green. There was a black mark near his ear. How could I not recognize my baby? If it were just green eyes, maybe I would have made a mistake, but this black mark was congenital, which my son had because of me. I ran towards him and hugged my son tightly, crying loudly. Everyone was surprised. They told me to take the baby. I started crying, screaming, and shouting. I told my friend about this. When I came back, I told my parents everything. They were also surprised. My mother said, "When you were born, you also had a similar mark near your ear." I said, "This is my baby." Whether or not this midwife named Wajir lied about it, some lied. She gave my baby to that woman. I do not know what happened, but he is mine. I believe this. My father said, "I believe this. Your father said the baby is yours and Danish's. To prove this, only a test will be enough." But those people are very rich. We have to catch that woman who delivered your baby first. Along with my friend, we planned because I knew something was wrong. My friend said she was going to become a mother. She called Wajir. She said, "Okay, I had handled your case earlier, so I will come." My friend pretended and created a fake drama. After that, Wajira came there. I closed the door and also called the police. I told her everything in front of the police. Seeing the police, she started trembling. There was a lady constable who, as soon as she was slapped, Wajira told her everything. She said, "When I came to deliver the baby, I deliberately wore a jati. I applied drugs and medicine on my jati. I took the baby in my arms and sat aside for 10 to 15 minutes. The baby would become unconscious. Then I would tell his parents that the baby has died and take the baby away from there. After that, she took the baby away. Then she sold the baby to a rich family or a married couple who were unable to have children. My friend said, "Why didn't you take my baby?" She said, "Your daughter was very ugly. I only steal beautiful babies. Your friend's baby is very beautiful. He had green eyes. I knew I would get good money for him. That's why I said he died. I do not want to tarnish my name. Out of 10, I play games with only one baby who is the most beautiful, but there is very little risk." Her sister-in-law was lying on the bed. Danish also seemed foolish. "Your parents were not present at that time, so she made your child the target. My name is very famous. People trust me," she said. But she also knows that if the baby leaves this world, the midwife is not to blame. My father told the police to catch her immediately and take her away with us so that we can take our child from this rich woman. We went to this rich woman's house. She did not agree to give the baby. She refused to give the baby. She said, "I bought this baby for lakhs of rupees. The police said to buy humans is forbidden. We can catch you in a moment. This baby belongs to these people. Return him immediately." The woman had no attachment to the baby. She bought the baby only for her false status and position. Otherwise, she would have had the feeling that it was someone's child. When she heard that a case would be filed against her, her husband's reputation would also be tarnished. Her husband was a big businessman. She immediately returned the baby. My son came back to me. I hugged him from the alley. He told me that he would tell my husband about this, but I did not tell because she treated me very badly. A year passed. I named my child Ahmed. I was very happy with him. One day, my husband came to the door. Seeing my child, he was surprised. His condition became like mine. He also hugged him tightly. He recognized that he was my son. But when I looked at my husband, I was surprised. His condition was very strange. He looked like a fakir, not like the handsome person I married. He said, "My mother has left this world. The woman I married was barren. She could not have a child. My mother's health worsened, and she left this world." I never forgive my husband, but he had already been punished for his deeds. Tears filled my eyes. I forgave him, and then he took me back with respect. Later, I started living happily in my house. After a year, Allah blessed me with a lovely daughter. Friends, these days it is not easy to trust anyone. This sentence also teaches us this lesson. Therefore, before taking any step or trusting someone, you should thoroughly know about that person. I hope you liked today's sentence and learned something from it. Don't forget to like it and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and become a part of our family. Musa Voice. Thank you.